Kanye West. Okay, and we're going to try to get through this without getting terminated or blocked or anything like that. Okay. So he is being dropped from all major brands that he is associated with because of his anti-Semitic rhetoric that he has been spouting out throughout a whole bunch of interviews recently. So I want to start this video off by letting everyone know that I follow Minister Louis Farrakhan. I study the Nation of Islam. Now, I'm not knowing what I'm supposed to know, and I don't study everything. So when it comes to this black people being Jews conversation, I don't know all the information there. But I do know that Minister Farrakhan has taught that. So my opinion, I guess, maybe a little biased, maybe on the other side. I don't know. But my real concern in this whole situation is trying to figure out, what I'm trying to figure out is what is the, I guess, difference of anti-Semitism and racism. Especially towards racism towards black people. So, and then my only answer I can come up with right now is more racism. Is that because Jewish people are white, but I think that's anti-Semitic too. I think that's why Whoopi Goldberg got canceled from The View for a few weeks or a week or so. But Jewish people, they have black Jews. They have Jews. They call them black Jews or Jews of color, and then you have your regular Jews. I don't know, which have a pale skin, less melanated. I don't know if they consider themselves white, but they look white. So maybe a racist aspect is playing in that when you have anti-Semitic rhetoric, that is more dangerous than having racist rhetoric. I feel like racism is like the order of the day. In America, it's just the order of the day. Like, there's always somebody in America spouting and doing some racist shit. I mean, people of prominent position, like our politicians, our people who run big businesses, big corporations, and media, of course. Yes, all over Hollywood and media. So it's like, why are those ramifications so different when it comes to people who are racist versus people who are anti-Semitic? Okay, so, because I've been trying to figure out what did Kanye say that was anti-Semitic. So I'm trying to approach this kind of how you would want white people to approach the racist stories towards black people. Because as a white person, you just may not understand how that is racist. But you're reporting about it, you're doing your job, you're talking about it, or you're just having a personal opinion about it with your peoples. But you may not exactly understand how it is racist. And it's hard for you to come to the conclusion of how it's racist because you are not black. So it may be hard for me to come to this conclusion of how this is anti-Semitic because I am not Jewish. So Kanye West, he said, I'm going to read from the ADL, okay? Because they pretty much are saying everything that I think everybody is upset about, because Kanye went on a whole bunch of different interviews. So to find all of his quotes has been a struggle for me, especially because like Piers Morgan's interview has been chopped up. I mean, I guess they play most of it, but there are edits and cuts. So I miss, I don't want to, I hate that I can't hear everything Kanye say. And then the Tucker Carlson is hard to find now without it being cut up. So, and then he's silenced. Kanye is silenced on everything. His tweets have been deleted. So there's some screenshots out there. So I'm trying to get the whole story together with Kanye West's side of the story as well, because we're just getting the media now, and they are pushing the same story. And okay, I'll start with the DEF CON, because everybody knows about the DEF CON tweet. He tweeted it as DEATH, DEF CON 3 to, and then in all capitals, he said Jewish people. So it was very specific. But he went on like Drink Champs the following day or whatever, and he explained that he spelled it wrong. But he was talking about DEFCON 3, which is a military alert system. There's DEFCON 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I believe 1 is the highest. DEFCON 3, anyways, we're like in the middle. It's an alert system, meaning readiness. DEFCON, I have it somewhere. It means to get ready. And so that's why it's so confusing of why people have taken it as though he's trying to commit violence towards Jewish people when everybody knows what DEFCON means. And it was obvious that he spelled it wrong, but we needed him to say that because there has been so much violence and a genocide towards Jewish people as a whole. That's recounted. We know that in history. So to say DEFCON to a people who have been through that is dangerous and horrible. But for him to say, I didn't mean death, DEHT, but I meant deaf, as in DEFCON, the military alert, then I'm not understanding why people are still so upset. So DEFCON means defense ready condition. Y'all know that. You already know that. So he's saying, I'm getting ready. That means that somebody's attacking you. When the military is in DEFCON, they are being prepared because somebody's about to attack them. So his story hasn't changed. He still believes that Jewish people who are in power in business and entertainment and in power in the media, the business and media, who run the shows, the producers, the managers, the founders, the people who own the companies, a lot of them are Jewish. And so he was specifically calling out Jewish business people. And on Piers Morgan, I think he said for this conversation that we're all having here about DEFCON 3, he's saying, I will say I'm speaking specifically to the business people. So I'm not understanding why nobody is understanding what he's saying. And if you do, okay, he said he's getting into a defense ready condition, which is DEFCON 3, which they call roundhouse, and it means increase in force readiness above that required for normal readiness. So there's a normal readiness, and you can be ready. You're ready for somebody to attack you. I'm ready. If somebody's coming to attack me, I'm ready. This does not mean I'm attacking somebody. I'm sneaking up on somebody. I'm finding somebody to attack. This means I am ready for when somebody is here to attack me. And I'm normally ready. I'm just ready. But DEFCON 3 means an increased force in readiness. An increased force in readiness. So now I got my gun out. Now I'm looking around my shoulder. I'm not just ready for somebody to pop up on me. I'm waiting for you to pop up on me because I know you will. DEFCON 3. It says Air Force ready to mobilize in 15 minutes. I'm ready in 15 minutes to mobilize. Not to engage, not to deploy, but to mobilize, to be on the move, to be ready in 15 minutes or less. I'm ready. This is a ready condition, DEFCON 3. This is what he was talking about. So the attack that's actually upon him right now, being dropped from everything, being silenced off of platforms, this is what he was saying I'm ready for. He was getting ready for this. Okay, I'm going to read the ADL. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. So it was updated on October 19th. And this is from the Center of Extremism. Now, the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, is a Jewish website. And they, the whole point is to call out anti-Semitism. Okay, so this is from the Center of Extremism, which I guess they have as a part of this organization. And those authors have wrote this. They wrote the first article on the 14th, and we'll go there. But this is October 19th. They say Ye continues to amplify anti-Semitic tropes and conspiracy theories. During an interview on Revolt TV's Drink Champ series that was posted and then removed on October 16, Ye reportedly blamed, quote, Jewish media and, quote, Jewish Zionists for numerous alleged misdeeds, stating that, quote, Jewish people have owned the black voice and that, quote, the Jewish community, especially in the music industry, they'll take us and milk us till we die. Okay, so Drink Champs. I guess they took it up and they put it up and then took it down, and people were upset about that. Revolt TV, owned by Diddy. I know Diddy tried to have Minister Louis Farrakhan, on there for like the Million Man March anniversary or something, and they took that down like a day before. So I feel like this is a black company that tries to work with us and give us a platform, but of course, white people don't regardless of where they come from, they don't they don't like when we call black people Jews or call out Jewish communities that are in the entertainment business. And so Minister Farrakhan does that. And so he is called an anti-Semitic all over the ADL. In fact, this article references Minister Farrakhan a lot. We're about to talk about him now. And I was reading, I was like, I don't know if Farrakhan has to do with this, but they are pointing to his connection to Kanye. And I think that all black people, like they did Nick Cannon, who say things that they deem as anti-Semitic, they reference back to Minister Farrakhan. Because they really don't want you to like him, and so they want you to think it all kind of stems from him. So we're gonna just kind of crack a little of this up a little bit. And so so Ye said repeatedly blamed Jewish media and Jewish Zionists. Now I'm not exactly sure of what Zionists are. I hear the term a lot. And I hear, I believe that Zionists are different from Orthodox Jews, and they're not the same. So, with that thought, I don't think that they're the same as what they would call, quote, mainstream Jews. So he's not talking about those type of Jews. He's talking about a specific people who Jewish Zionists, I believe, are considered people who are faking to be mainstream Jews. They are not mainstream Jews. They just use the title. And I mean, I can call myself a Christian today. I can call myself a Muslim today. I can call myself a Buddhist. And if I start dressing like them, maybe attending some of their meetings, then yeah, you would think so too. But doing insidious deeds underhandedly, because that's who I am. But I just act as though I'm a Buddhist or a Christian. That is, I think, what they call Jewish Zionists. Now, if it's not, then y'all let me know in the comment section. Let me know what a Jewish Zionist is, because I'm not exactly sure. But he specifically said Zionist, so he's not talking about the whole Jewish community there. And then in this one, he said, quote, Jewish media. So he's not talking about the whole Jewish community there. He's talking about Jewish people in media. So my question is, and you can leave your comments down below, are there not Jews in the media? Are there not Jewish people in media? Are there, or is there not Jewish people in media? And if so, then those are the people Kanye West is talking about. Who are the Jewish people that are in media? Who are they? And then they should be upset with Kanye West, definitely, because he is talking about you. Now, I mentioned before, like, I watched Housewives, and I guess I love the show because I mentioned it in a few videos, but Beverly Hills Housewives, if y'all know that lady Kyle Richardson, and I'm sure y'all do, right? So she is a Jew. I'm saying this because I watched the show, and they were on two or three different franchises of the show. They celebrated a Jewish holiday, Hanukkah maybe? I really don't know. but they celebrated it around Christmas, and I thought it was cool and interesting because it was like, oh, the sitcoms usually do the Christmas episodes, the Halloween episodes, all these holiday episodes, but not this. I think the Rugrats that did it. It was like, oh, so not a Hanukkah episode. So I was like, oh, that's nice. And I didn't know that they were Jews. And some of the women had said they converted for their husbands and stuff. And okay, but the point is, I don't think that those Jewish people is who Kanye West is talking about, like Kyle Richardson. I don't think he's talking about them. And I think that's what the media is trying to have us believe. That's why I was a little confused. But then I'm reading and listening to some of his interviews, and I mean, if he's talking about all Jewish people, that should be considered anti-Semitic, which I think is in correlation to racism. I don't know why it's not called racism if Jewish people consider Judaism, they consider being Jewish their own race. I don't know why it's not racism, and why is it so anti-Semitic, whereas Semitic people are Muslim, Christians, and Jews. So when people say horrible things about Muslims, I don't know why people don't call it anti-Semitic. Or when people say horrible things about Christians, I don't know why they don't call it that anti-Semitic, when all three religions they're a Semitic religion. So I don't know. And then when it happens to Jews, particularly, why not call it racism if being a Jew is its own race? So these are questions that I have that I hope that you guys can answer, because I'm confused. So it sounds like he's talking about Jewish media and Jewish Zionists. He said, for the numerous alleged misdeeds, stating that Jewish people have owned the black voice. Okay, Jewish people have owned the black voice. That comes off as anti-Semitic. But knowing what he's talking about, Jewish media and Jewish Zionists, then I would assume that those are the Jewish people he is talking about. Because there are other top executives who run big corporations, who are Christian and who are non-denomination, who have no religion, or just who are not Jewish. There are top executives and top people in the Hollywood industry and the media who have big positions who are not Jewish. Not everybody in the media and stuff are Jews or are Jewish, because I think one of the terms is derogatory, and I'm not trying to be, so please forgive me. But I'm saying that I don't think all those people are Jewish. Not the big top ones. You know, and everybody's not. There's some black ones, there's some white ones, there's some Asians, there's some non-denominations, some Christians, probably some Muslims. Like, there's different people. But he's specifically calling out the Jewish people in the media and entertainment business. And he's saying those people have owned the black voice. Now, he just said Jewish people, which I think he should be more specific. And on Drink Champs, he talked about the DEFCON 3 statement and said he talked to his dad, and his dad said he needs to be more sophisticated with his words, and he agrees. Because I think it's easy for the media to hop on your ass when you're not very specific about the Jewish community, because just like black people or Asians or Christians or Muslims, Buddhists, there are books, there are shows, there are people who criticize these people, who have opinions on their beliefs and morals, and that is freedom of speech, and it is especially welcomed here in America. So Jewish people are not above criticism. I don't think that you should say things that cause harm. And this is, again, why I'm trying to figure out what is this big difference between anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic rhetoric versus racist rhetoric, because they're making it seem as though Kanye West's words are going to cause, or have already caused, a rise in violence towards Jewish people. This is why some Jewish people are so hurt. Families are hurt and crying. They're scared because talk like this creates a rise in violence towards Jewish people. Do I have that correct? I think that that's what the biggest issue is when it comes to the Jewish community and what Kanye is saying. I'm not Jewish, guys, so I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that out. And if that is the case, that is very understandable. Very understandable. But what I don't understand as a black man is when racist rhetoric is talked and spouted out there, why is it swept under the rug or not acknowledged as causing the rise of violence towards black people? When you see police officers, and you know that's been happening forever, kill us, but you see regular neighbors now running down the street, hunting black people on social videos. Like, it's here in this day and age, and still racist practices being performed at corporations, restaurants, small businesses towards black people, because of a lot has to do with racist rhetoric in the media, whether it's a television show script, a movie, trope, words from influential people like Kanye West. But there's never even a week ago when he was on the George Floyd thing or the White Lives Matter thing, people were upset, but he wasn't being dropped by everybody like this. He wasn't being silenced like this, because it causes a rise of hate towards black people. I think they did take him off for White Lives Matter, for all of you out there. When he said the White Lives Matter thing, I think they did silence him for that. But that is one example to the many examples that we all know I'm talking about that happens in America every day, all the time, of racist rhetoric towards black people, because you can be racist toward other races, but racist towards black people, we know of it being true today. And those things as well can cause rise to violence towards black people. So what is so different about racist rhetoric and anti-Semitic rhetoric? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because when somebody says something anti-Semitic, like Whoopi did earlier in the year, and they took her off, Greenblatt, who runs, I think, ADL, he came to The View and tried to school everybody. Why is it ramifications so much bigger and different for anti-Semitic or anti-Semitic rhetoric versus racist rhetoric? My only conclusion is because black people don't have big control in companies like Adidas, like the Creative Arts Agency, who all dropped Kanye West recently. If we were in those positions of power, then maybe we can silence some people and take them off our platforms if we owned Twitter or Instagram or something like that. But because we don't, like Zuckerberg, I think Zuckerberg is Jewish, and if he's not, if he doesn't practice Judaism today, Zuckerberg is a Jewish name. His family is Jew. He has a closer relationship to Jewish people than Kanye West, mainstream Jewish people, than Kanye West. The people that are offended, who run the ADL, so they have the power to silence, and we don't have that power. So maybe that's why. Maybe if black people were in positions of power, then we would do the same thing. But it paints the picture clearly that Jewish people are in a position of power because their influence, even if they're not running something, they've put out emails and notes to people asking them to boycott Kanye West, not to work with Kanye West. And there's some black organizations who do the same thing, but most of the time it falls on deaf ears. So it's just a different standard for Jewish people and black people. And I don't know if it has to do with because black people are not in a position of power and Jewish people are more so, or if it's just that the world respects Jewish people more than they respect black people. So they will adhere to Jewish people's requests versus black people. Either one is a wrong for me. And I need us to call it out that both are wrong. Anti-Semitic rhetoric and racist rhetoric. Okay. They reference the Nation of Islam. This is the ADL. Referencing Nation of Islam leader, well, they're talking about Kanye West. Referencing Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan, he also commented that he was, quote, Me Tooing the Jewish culture. I'm saying y'all gotta stand up and admit to what you've been doing. So I guess because the Me Too movement has been calling out people and people have been having to admit their crimes and pay for their crimes of sexual abuse, especially towards women, that had fallen on deaf ears for a very long time. Now, in this day and age, they call it the Me Too movement because people have to pay for their crimes. He is saying that about the Jewish culture. So, okay, when he says the Jewish culture, I'm thinking he's talking about in media and entertainment. But because he's not specifying that, as a Jewish person, I can see how that would feel anti-Semitic. Because if he just said, commenting that he was Me Tooing the black culture, it would be a problem. I'm saying y'all got to stand up and admit what y'all doing, talking about the black culture. Now, say there's a whole bunch of black people in media who've been doing white people wrong or Asians wrong. It's just been portraying them the wrong way, not letting them own their masters or own their creative intellectual property or whatever the case may be. Bad contracts, just horrible things. Black people are in power. Most of the power belongs to black people. So if Hollywood is doing you wrong, then you look at the people who got most power, and that's black people. Like, this is a hypothetical. And then somebody would come out and say, I'm Me Tooing the black culture. But he's only talking about the black people in media and entertainment. And I'm sitting here in my car like, the black culture. Yeah, I would be offended. Because I'm a part of the black culture. I'm not a part of the big businessmen in media and entertainment, but I'm a part of the black culture. So as a Jewish person, I'm sure they're offended by that because they're a part of the Jewish culture. So I see that. It said Ye doubled down on his anti-Semitism during an October 17 interview with Chris Cuomo on News Nation, criticizing the so-called Jewish underground mafia or Jewish underground media mafia. Jewish underground media mafia, this is in quotes, and alleging that, quote, every celebrity has Jewish people in their contract. So these are also what they would call anti-Semitic. Jewish underground media mafia. I'm not sure that should be considered anti-Semitic because he is specifying Jewish people in media, where again, on the flip side, if somebody was specifying black people in media, and let's say that black people actually had majority control of Hollywood studios and recording labels and things of that nature, if black people were the majority owners and had most power, and somebody white was to say black underground media mafia, and we had that power in media, I wouldn't be offended. Because I'm not a part of the media. And I know for it to be true that there are a lot of black people in media that have power. And I don't know if they're doing the celebrities right or wrong because I'm not a celebrity. I'm not there and I'm not a part of those contract dealings. I'm also wouldn't be a white person who would make that claim. So my experience may be different with the black executives who run Hollywood. This is hypothetical. But reality is that Jewish people have a lot of power in media. A lot of big Hollywood studios are run by Jewish people, people who happen to be Jewish. I'll say that. Because I'm not sure how much it has to do with their Jewish culture or their Jewish religion. It just happens that a majority of people with power in entertainment and media are Jewish. They happen to be Jewish. And so he's calling those people out because he has been done wrong in his career as an artist. And he is now in a position where he feels he can call them out, those bad business practices. And most of them, in his opinion, have been conducted by bad business people who happen to be Jewish. So he's calling out the Jewish, what he calls Jewish underground media mafia. So again, I wouldn't be offended if I was a Jew because I'm not a part of the media, unless I'm a part of the media and I'm a Jew. But then you don't have to, all you have to do is kind of explain. You don't have to call him or attack him and say he's attacking me and boycott him and don't listen to him. He's crazy and he's wrong. Explain to me how he's wrong. That's why I'm doing this video, because I'm not understanding, Jewish people. What is wrong about that? Now, I understood the blanket statement of Jewish culture. I understand that. Now, if you want to use that one, okay. And he has to explain himself on that. But the Jewish underground media mafia that's self-explanatory. He's talking about an underground media mafia of people who happen to be Jewish. Now, if it's true or not, we don't know. Not being in the media, we're listening to the media. The people who are writing articles, who are conducting interviews, who are broadcasting, are in the media. So how the hell would we know? It's only one side. His side is that there's an underground media mafia, and then the media says it's not. So, you have to have your own opinion on that one. He also says he alleged that every celebrity has Jewish people in their contract. Is that true or not? I'm not a celebrity. So now this is a question for celebrities. Let a celebrity come out and say, hey, you are spreading anti-Semitic rhetoric. I'm a celebrity. I don't have not one Jewish person in my contract. Not one contract I got is there a Jewish person in. So that's completely wrong and obviously anti-Semitic, because it's wrong. And it's only making people think that there are Jewish people in every celebrity's contract, but that's not true. Somebody explain that to us who are not celebrities. So I'm asking for a celebrity. Leave your comment down below. Which celebrity don't have a Jewish person in their contract? Has somebody come out? Have they done an interview? Have they tweeted? Can you send me the link? Which celebrity does not have a Jewish person in their contract? How you just gonna write that off as a lie or as wrong when you don't fucking know? I didn't hear not one celebrity come out and say, I don't have a Jewish person in my contract. Maybe I missed it. Send me the link, because I would like to see that. They say this is the ADL, he also claimed that his life was threatened by his Jewish managers, lawyer, and accountant due to his political beliefs. Okay. So is he, they say he also claimed, so that's anti-Semitic, because he claimed that his Jewish managers and lawyers and accountants threatened his life. Did they threaten his fucking life? It's like, did they threaten his life? Like, how is that anti-Semitic? How? Somebody leave your comment down below. I'm so interested, because if it's true, now let's hypothetically say this is a white person talking about my black managers, lawyers, and accountants threaten my life due to my political beliefs, because I don't believe Black Lives Matter or I like Trump or whatever. And I'm white, a white celebrity, and I happen to have a whole bunch of black lawyers, managers, and accountants because they are in the entertainment business. This is the hypothetical that black people are in power, because managers, lawyers, entertainment lawyers, accountants, there's accountants who work specifically for entertainers, and in that industry, let's say that majority of them are black. He's claiming that majority of them are Jewish. But let's say in a hypothetical that a majority of them are black, and there's a white person who says my black Jewish managers, lawyers, and accountants are threatening my life due to my political belief. I don't know if that's true or not. And if the white person political belief is something like voting for Trump or disagreeing with Black Lives Matter, I got questions. That could be true. I don't know. There's some black people who are very serious about that. And I don't know. As a black person, I don't know. There may be some black people who want to threaten your life because you vote for Trump or because you don't agree with Black Lives Matter. I don't know. So as a Jewish person who's sitting in your car or on YouTube, how do you know if his Jewish manager, lawyer, or accountants were threatening his life? We don't know if that's true or not. So I don't know why that's even mentioned here. That should not be considered anti-Semitic. It's like on both Drink Champs and Cuomo, on Cuomo's show, Ye repeated his previous defense that black people cannot be anti-Semitic, stating that we are Semite, we Jew, so I can't be anti-Semite. Okay, I don't agree with that, and I've said this before, but I don't agree with that statement. Now I'm going to mention Minister Farrakhan because Minister Farrakhan has said something to that effect, that he can't be an anti-Semite because black people are Semitic people. Now, the reason that Minister Farrakhan's statement rings true, because for over 40 years, Minister Farrakhan has led the Nation of Islam, which the ADL would even admit is the largest black nationalist group. Now, we don't consider ourselves just we don't even consider ourselves a black nationalist organization, but the term black nationalist would apply to a group like the Nation of Islam. We are definitely black nationalists. We love black people, and we are in support of black people and study black people. So Minister Farrakhan has been doing that for over 40 years. And that's not the only thing the Nation of Islam is about. It's about this whole world. It's about everybody. But it can seem as a black nationalist group, and there aren't many because they have been compromised by the American government, and there's plenty of history on that. But with some black nationalist groups still being around, the ADL would consider the Nation of Islam, even though we don't consider ourselves as a black nationalist group, they would consider us as the largest black nationalist group. Okay. So with that being said, for over 40 years, Minister Farrakhan has in fact been uplifting black people. Not a falsity, not in theory, not in our imagination, but in fact, he has been, and you all know it as well. His speeches are about the rise of black people, almost to the fact where it seems as though he can't stand white people. He don't like white people. He don't like any other race. It's only about black people. You got to really study that man to understand how this is for the whole world. But just as hard as he goes for the upliftment of black people, it seems like that, because he is trying to uplift black people. That's what it's about. He is uplifting black people. So for him to say that black people are Semitic, and he believes that, just like Kanye West believes it, Minister Farrakhan believes black people are Semitic. He's saying, I can't be anti-Semitic because all I've done was uplift black people. How could you call me anti-Semitic knowing the truth is black people are Semitic people, and all I've done was uplift black people? That would be the complete opposite of anti-Semite. So that's why Minister Farrakhan says that. And if you believe black people are Semitic people, then you cannot call Minister Farrakhan anti-Semitic. And a lot of you religious scholars, now I'm talking to y'all religious scholars, you can leave your comments down below. Y'all know where the theory, because I don't know for fact, because I haven't done my studying, so I'm not going to bring that to y'all as fact, but I'm believing it. But y'all know where the theory that black people are Jews come from, and how that may be true. And if that is true, black people are Semitic people. That is what Minister Farrakhan believes. That's what he said. That's what he's been believing. So he doesn't consider himself anti-Semitic, no. Kanye West, who said the same thing, I don't know if that rings true for him, because I feel though he has said some things that has caused harm to black people, and have been, if you believe black people are Semitic people, anti-Semitic. It's been anti-black. So there are people who can be Semitic. Now let's just say Semitic people are only Jewish people. Only Jewish people are Semitic. There are people who can be Jewish and anti-Semitic. Just because you're a Jew or Jewish does not mean you can't, there's no way I can be anti-Semitic because I'm Jewish. I would be against myself. You are. You are. You are. You are. There are black people against black people. There are black people against themselves. There are white people against themselves. White people against white people. There are Jewish people against Jewish people who don't want to be Jewish, don't like being Jewish, don't like Jewish people. Hell yeah, you can be Semitic and anti-Semitic. So that's not a true statement. It's true for Minister Farrakhan because of how he believes black people are Semitic people and the proof that he stood up for black people. But to say that you can't be anti-Semitic because you're black, that's not true to me. That's not true to me. You can be anti-black. Even if the black people are Semitic people, you can be anti-Semitic because you can be anti-black as a black person. So that's not true. He said, we are Semite. We Jew, so I can't be anti-Semite. That's not true. That's not true for him. That's not true for Jewish people. Everybody can be anti-Semitic.